Hello, guys, and welcome back to your favorite Guncle podcast. It's your favorite Guncle and your favorite host. It's your boy James, and today we're going to be talking about setting healthy boundaries in family relationships. I'm the youngest of six, so I have a lot of experience dealing with family just being family, whether it's them butting in, being overprotective, or downright judgmental. I have seen a lot, guys. Okay, but before we get into anything, let's get into a listener question that a listener wrote in. All right. The listener wrote in, "Hey, Gunkle, I'm the youngest in my family, and now that I'm getting older, I think my family is having a hard time dealing with it. It seems like they always want to control me. They always have an opinion about anything I do, whether it's the friends I make or the people I date. I'm struggling with setting boundaries. Can you help? Let's clock this T, because it's important. Being the youngest doesn't mean your family has a license to butt into your life. Doesn't mean that they have the license to always give their opinion or anything. You are allowed to make the friends that you want to make. You're allowed to make the mistakes that you have to make to learn and grow. And you don't want to get cheated out that experience because you have people trying to guide every step that you make. Okay? So I think it's important to first establish what are personal boundaries. I think people sometimes think that it's a negative thing. Personal boundaries are not negative. These are a guideline that you're setting for people on how you want to be treated. This is a guideline of, hey, these are the things I like. If you stick to this, we'll get along great. Hey, these are the things I don't like. I'm setting these boundaries. Don't cross this line, because if you cross this line, you don't get another side and it's going to be a problem. So really make sure you understand what personal boundaries are and identify your personal boundaries. That's important. If you don't know your personal boundaries, how are other people going to know what your personal boundaries are? So you want to make sure you really take days, weeks, or however long, not too long, but you want to really reflect. And it doesn't even have to be a long list. You can start small, and as it grows, let people know, communicate. That goes into the next topic. As you identify what your personal boundaries are, you want to make sure that you communicate that to your family members. And when you communicate it, it's not what you say, it's always about how you say it. So make sure that you communicate for understanding. I like to say communicate for understanding. When I communicate, when I'm upset with my husband, I'm communicating for him to understand. Hey, I feel like this when you do this. It makes me feel like this. I don't know if that's your intention, but this is how it makes me feel. Can you not do that? Because it really upsets me, or it really makes me sad, or it really hurts my feelings when you do this. And I try to articulate how the actions are making me feel so he can understand it versus me just saying, don't do that. Because sometimes people, especially the people you love, they be playing, or sometimes they don't, it don't be intentional when they hurt you, or they say things because they feel like, hey, I can say whatever, because they just feel like they have a relationship. And some people cross the line. So you just want to make sure that you make that line clear. You make sure that you speak for them to understand you. And you also want to understand them. Give them a chance to adjust, because if they used to doing you one way and you tell them you don't like it, sometimes unintentionally, it's bad habits are hard to break. So you just want to give them that chance to change, because it could be a lot, especially if you find out that you have a lot of boundaries that you didn't even talk to them about yet. Like you just it may be that in between stage when you're leaving teenage years, but now you're like 20s and you're growing up, and now you know for sure, hey, I don't like when you talk to me like that. It was okay when I was 16. It wasn't okay. I didn't like it then, but now I for sure don't like it. Now that I'm 21, now that I'm 22, you can't talk to me the same way you was talking to me when I was 16. You can't treat me the same way you was treating me when I was younger. So you want to make sure that you identify those boundaries, you communicate it, and you got to be prepared for pushback, because family, Rome wasn't built overnight. Okay, you can tell them all the things, and you can tell them about your personal boundaries, but them actually putting the work in and actually changing, that could be a process. And also, they might not want to. They probably be like, "Oh boy, stop, get over it. Oh, I've been calling you this name since you was a little kid. This nickname is gonna stick with you for life." But it's like, no, don't call me that. My name is James, or my name is blah blah blah. you just want to make sure that, you be prepared because people don't like change. And sometimes they will challenge you. And you have to stand 10 toes down on what you believe and don't let nobody sway it. Okay? These are your personal boundaries. These are your guidelines. And it's for you to hold people accountable and for you to make sure people treat you the way you want to be treated. Just like you treat them the way they want to be treated. If they told you that they don't like something, I would hope that you respect it and that you will act accordingly and lead by example. So you want to make sure that your boundaries and your space is being respected at the end of the day, especially when it comes to family. It is hard to stand up to your family, especially if you still live with them, especially if you see them every day. And on top of that, you love your family. You don't want to hurt your family. You don't want to isolate from your family. But at the end of the day, if it's hurting you and it's not healthy, even if it's a family member, sometimes you have to distance yourself and you have to go ahead and just cut that screen because just because their family doesn't give them a license to hurt you, it doesn't give them the right to treat you just any type of way. Just because I'm your niece, I'm your nephew, I'm whoever to you, doesn't mean that you can treat me like shit and think I'm supposed to just keep coming around you, keep treating you because, oh, we're blood. Yeah, we're blood. And as blood, you should treat me how I want to be treated. You should do more than what you have been doing and maybe we can do something then. But don't be afraid to cut that cord if you need to cut that cord. Um, but yeah, just to wrap things up, understand personal boundaries are not a bad thing. Identify what your personal boundaries are for you, what you need from people, how you want to be treated, what you don't like, do all that good stuff that you need to have healthy relationships in your life and make sure you communicate it to the people you love. If you communicate it, if they really love you, if they're down for you, they're going to respect your boundaries. They're going to come around eventually and they're going to rock with you. And that's going to strengthen your bond with your family. That's going to make you a lot closer and you'll be able to have a better time because your boundaries are being respected. I hope that helps. If you have any questions that y'all want to write in, please do. I want to hear from you guys. I would love to read it and give you my advice the best I can. Also, if you want to see anything or topic that you would like to discuss, let me know. I definitely want to hear from you guys. Next week, we'll have my husband on. He'll be the guest host. So I'm super excited for you guys to talk to him and for us to have a good laugh, maybe a cry, talk about some juicy, juicy stuff. So make sure you tune in next week. I love you guys.